Main event time here this week on Anarchy. This is Wrestling. Brett Wolverton being joined in the broadcast booth by former Anarchy Wrestling heavyweight champion, The Temptation, Shaun Tempers. Temptation, what brings you out here for this main event this week?
Whoa, that's a close one.
Indeed.
Well, of course I want to be out here. You know, I have my guys out here, the Jeff G. Bailey Elite, you know, the most premier athletes in all of professional wrestling. And of course I want to be out here to watch my teammates do what they do best.
Well, it looked like the Wrestling's Dangerous Weapon, Jeter, and the Deadly Sin 7 were going to start things off, but instead it's Shadow Jackson and Jagged Edge, Jeter tagging back in. Temptation, I have to ask, what is going to happen when Jeter and the Deadly Sin 7 finally square off one-on-one?
Well, I'll tell you what's going to happen. Se7en is going to come out on top because that's what he does, okay? We don't have to worry about Jeter. We're not impressed. I mean, granted, he did a lot of good things for us. I mean, he's a tough guy. I mean, obviously you can't take away his size, but I'll tell you about it. He's a baby, okay? He can't accept criticism.
Well, all three members of Unforgivable Blackness, Shadow Jackson, Jeter, who we see in the ring, and of course Nemesis, are all former members of the Elite. You know, they were cast aside, if you will, once the verdict was handed down by Franklin Dove that groups had to be no more than 3 superstars.
Right.
A little bit of a house clean by Jeff G. Bailey sees the Urban Assault Squad and Jeter cast aside.
Yes, of course, and that's exactly what it was. I mean, any reasonable person can see it that way, you know. Jeter, I mean, he didn't make the cut. Simple as that. He got cut from the team. He didn't make the squad. I mean, it happens all the time. But this is a guy who really just can't accept that. You know, he wants to go ahead and he wants to put his hands on Jeff G. Bailey. He wants to try to manhandle him, and that's not what happens. You're going to see him get manhandled as soon as Se7en gets in there.
Well, the Deadly Sin 7 is in the ring against Shadow Jackson.
And it's just a preview. He's just giving Shadow a little taste. And you see this, and you see Jeter across the ring, and you can see the fear in his eyes as he watches Se7en just totally dismantle Shadow Jackson right now. And I'm loving it.
Well, Jagged Edge now attacking Shadow Jackson out on the floor. And we see the face-off again between Jeter and the Deadly Sin 7, but it's giving Jagged Edge time to attack Shadow Jackson while the referee's back is
it sure is, and you see that Jeter didn't dare to step into the ring when Se7en challenged him, and that's just an example of the cowardice exemplified by Jeter and Shadow, and especially Nemesis. You gotta wonder, where's he at?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is true. Nemesis, the third member of Unforgivable Blackness, not here this week as the Elite is fully represented. Jagged Edge on the apron, the Deadly Sin 7 in the ring, Jeff G. Bailey out on the floor watching, and of course the Temptation, Shaun Tempers, sitting here next to me in the broadcast position.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I know you really must be appreciating Nemesis not be here, because that is what is the reason that I am here with you right now. But of course, everyone has to appreciate hearing the words of the Temptation.
Well, this is true. This match originally scheduled to be a 6-man tag. The Temptation involved as well as Nemesis. Nemesis not here. The match changed to tag team action. The Temptation sliding into the broadcast position.
And you see the teamwork exemplified right there with Jagged Edge and Se7en, where they're taking Shadow down like that. And, you know, we really hate to see Jagged end up on his knee like that. But hey, wait a minute.
Well, I will be totally honest. That was a little bit of a low blow behind the referee's back.
Yeah,
Actually,
that was most definitely underhanded, and that's something that I do not tolerate. That's something that we in the Elite do not tolerate.
Jeter putting all of his body weight into the throat of Jagged Edge in the corner. Now Shadow Jackson going to the eyes.
And that's all he's got.
You
know, he's just got a sucker punch, and he's gonna get in his eyes, just like a real underhanded individual. Are the best words that I can use right now.
Now, Temptation, just moments ago, when Jagged Edge was doing the same thing to Shadow Jackson, you were encouraging, you were commending him for attacking behind the referee's back.
What same thing? All I saw was pure tag team wrestling and taking advantage of the situation within the rules. But as you see now, Jeter really thinking he's some sort of tough guy, like he's going to break Jagged Edge's neck, and I don't think so. You see, Jagged is going to come out of that because he's got a lot of strength, okay? Everyone wants to talk about how great Jeter is, how strong he is, but, I mean, look at the Elite, okay? No one can match power with us.
No, I will say, Jagged Edge, no small man. Obviously, the Deadly Sin 7, over 300 pounds as well. You're a well-conditioned athlete. All three members of the Elite, tremendous superstars and strong as well, but the size advantage, it's almost a toss-up here because you've got the power of Se7en Jagged Edge, but you have the sheer size of a 475-pound Jeter. As Shadow Jackson draws in the Deadly Sin 7.
Yeah, he's really, really working on my nerves here. But one thing you got to question is the intelligence of Unforgivable Blackness here. I mean, because they're out here and they want to go against the Elite. I mean, more than anybody, they should know how dangerous we can be and what we are capable of. So for them to subject themselves to this torture is beyond comprehension.
Shadow Jackson is down. Big flying elbow.
There it is, flying through the air, and that's got to be it. Nobody gets up from that.
Well, that was a vertical jump from the Deadly Sin 7, and it looked almost as if he jumped off the top turnbuckle. He got that much height off of that.
Really, that's all it takes, you know, because he has that kind of power. He has that agility, and that's something that you would really never expect to see from such a big man as that, but that is why he is really a very unique individual.
The Deadly Sin 7 working on the back of Shadow Jackson. This is your main event this week on Anarchy. The Elite team of Jagged Edge and the Deadly Sin 7 taking on the Unforgivable Blackness team of Jeter and Shadow Jackson. Brett Wolverton here in the broadcast booth with former Anarchy Wrestling heavyweight champion, The Temptation, Shaun Tempers, calling the action.
Yeah, and I really notice how you put that inflection on former heavyweight champion. Okay,
I've
got some things to say. Yeah, I know. I know exactly what I am. I don't have to have you tell me that. I've got a lot of things to say about what happened with Jeremy Vane, but I'm holding off on that because I have an internal review going on of the underhanded tactics that were employed in that title match. So you're going to hear about that, trust me.
Well, that remains to be seen. The heavyweight championship, a different situation for a different day. This week, your main event tag team action. Jagged Edge catching Shadow Jackson with a belly-to-belly suplex and a beauty.
Absolutely it is. It really needs to capitalize because I think that is really going to put away Shadow.
As the referee starts his count, both men could stand to make a tag. I have to say, as important as this tag team match has been, Jeff G. Bailey has been fairly calm out at ringside. Not showing a lot of emotion in what's going on. Usually a little bit more vocal in matches like this.
Well, he's just confident. He's not getting upset because he's confident. He knows that the Elite have this in the bag.
Well, here's the war that everybody has wanted to see. Jeter, the Wrestling's Dangerous Weapon, and the Deadly Sin 7.
He doesn't have what it takes. He doesn't have what it takes to put 7 down.
Charges into the rope again, a clothesline.
I told you.
Now going to the throat. Now both superstars are choking each other.
And we're going to see 7's power on display here.
To referee Ken Wallace's credit, he is not trying to get between those two massive athletes as Shadow Jackson and Jagged Edge are fighting out on the floor. Jeter whipped into the corner, almost shifts the ring. 7 charges in after Jeter, able to get out of the way. Big splash sends 475 pounds into the chest cavity of the Deadly Sin 7, throwing the Deadly Sin 7 out of the ring over the top rope. Jeter going out after him.
You know, this is ridiculous. Ken Wallace really needs to get some control here. Otherwise, Jeter would not be able to do this.
7 run into the ring post.
There you go, 7. That's what I'm talking about.
It is all broken loose. The referee's trying to referee has called for the bell. This match is going to end. I believe Ken Wallace's throat. Referee Ken Wallace is calling for help. Jagged Edge has a steel chair. He's going after Shadow Jackson.
Yeah, and Shadow's going to find out now. Both of these guys are going to find out. Oh, come on. This is why you don't mess with the Elite, okay?
D. Byers coming back out. I see the modern.
This is not looking good for me. I'm out of here.
The locker room has cleared out, ladies and gentlemen, trying to separate. The Temptation, Shaun Tempers, is just pushed away from me. The entire locker room is out here trying to separate the members of the Elite and Unforgivable Blackness. Fans, there is chaos all over the place. I feel sorry for the teams that are trying to keep the Deadly Sin 7 and the Big Man Jeter, Wrestling's Dangerous Weapon, apart. I think they finally got everybody separated.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Ken Wallace has thrown this contest out. There is no winner. The match is a no contest.
Well, the no contest rendered as the Deadly Sin 7 and Wrestling's Dangerous Weapon Jeter are still trying to get to one another. They've got them separated. Fans, this is chaos. We'll see you next week.